Shabbat Shalom. Shalom, Shalom. All praises to the Most High Yahweh. By Hashem, Yahushai, double honors to the elders and apostles of them who well. Shalom throughout elect. Start 2nd Samuel. This is 22. For I have kept the ways of the Lord and have not wickedly departed from my power. All his judgments were before me, and as for his statutes, I did not depart from them. I was also upright before him, and I've kept myself from mine iniquity. So we're supposed to be in that spirit of doing the will of the Lord and trying to be clean, in the eyes of the Lord. Because when you see stuff like this, you understand that there's nothing you can do to save yourself. It says the world remains the closest it has ever been to the symbolic hour of the apocalypse, with Doomsday clock set once again to 90 seconds to midnight for 2024. And it says in 2024, the clock remains set at 90 seconds to midnight, the closest to global collapse it has ever been. And while no change could be mildly comforting, scientists warned that it was not an indication of stability. So it shows that we're in unstable times right now. It says midnight represents the moment at which people will have made Earth uninhabitable. Last year, the bulletin set the clock at 90 seconds to midnight, mainly due to Russia's invasion of Ukraine and the increased risk of nuclear escalation. From 2020 to 2022, the clock was set at 100 seconds to midnight. And this is not going to abate. This is not going to stop. It's going to get worse and worse and worse. And the spirit we're supposed to be in is we're supposed to be abounding every day. If you offend, offend less. Is not to say brothers are perfect, because even a brother was telling me yesterday, a lot of the people's videos we watch, to us they're mighty man, but they're men all the same, and there's not an insult to the brothers. We're in the flesh, and we're bound to make mistakes every now and again, because this is a constant battle, and you have to really fortify your mind against stuff like this, because stuff like this more than likely isn't on the news. I don't really watch TV. But things like this bug people out. A lot of people don't really want to know what's going on in the world because they find it quote unquote depressing. But we're supposed to, supposed to be watchmen pretty much. We're supposed to be looking at the times and seeing what's going on. We're not supposed to just have our heads in the ground like ostriches, being completely unaware. We're not supposed to be caught unawares, because that's how a lot of these people are gonna be. Because I was watching this program on YouTube called The Black Authority by Jason Black, and he makes a lot of good points, but he's pretty much bugged out, because he's sitting there saying, we work in a system of white supremacy, but the only way to really overcome a system of white supremacy is to get your money up. Now here you're saying Jake can't do anything in a system of, or well, he's in a system of white supremacy, but you think you're able to mitigate a lot of the situations that come with being in a system of white supremacy by getting your money. That doesn't even make any sense. You know what I mean? It's like saying you're going to dig yourself out of a hole. You are in a system that's designed to destroy you. Regardless of how much money you have, you're going to be destroyed. And when these problems come, you're not going to have, that money is not going to help you. But he seems to think that, we're doom and gloomers, right? So he doesn't believe that this time is going to come, because according to him, people have said, whoa, 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 woe is me, all these years and nothing has happened. Not understanding that this is the closest that the world has ever been to a global catastrophe. And ultimately, the Lord is holding back the four winds until the elect are sealed. So the Lord don't care about a nigger like Jason Black, some self-confessed intellectual who runs off his mouth and uses all these big words because he's very articulate. The Lord ain't really dealing with men like that. To him, we're basemen. I remember one time somebody called in the show, and admittedly the brother did seem a bit slow or whatever. No disrespect to the brother, and he was like, yeah, I'm a Hebrew Israelite, and he was like, oh yeah, I can tell. It really was a slight on the brother, but it just shows that he doesn't have a spiritual eye. He sees everything through carnal means. He thinks, perverted riches are gonna save him, and these are perverted riches. This is a society built on debt, and this is why these people go to wars. They literally go to war to cover up the fact that they've destroyed their own economy. They've done this time and time again. You know, They did this in 1939. They did this in the First World War. I can't remember exactly what date that was. Let's see. World War I. So 1914 to 1918. And we all know there's a great economic collapse in 1921. So, it preceded a great collapse. Because what happens during these times is, these elites and these private companies that own these firearm companies, what they do is they siphon off money from the people to their own private banks by making deals with governments and then pretty much making money off the people. These time the people don't even want a war. Here it is that there's an issue in Ukraine and America and England and everybody else is being dragged into it. What's it got to do with you? Mind your business. Let's see. This is Ecclesiasticus 10 and 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. So this is how these people get their money. They'll have a war, then they'll use taxpayer money to fund these arms that they themselves have shares or own the companies of. So they're transferring the wealth from the people to themselves, and ultimately what they want to do is collapse the whole thing and then run off with the bag. They think, they're gonna hide under these rocks and say, save us, from what was that scripture? Let me get uh let the rocks cover us. Because this is what they really want to do. They just pretty much want to rob the people and run off with the bag. This is Revelation 6:16, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath. Let's get the next bit of that. And from the wrath of the Lamb. So yeah, this is not gonna go the way that they think, because ultimately, these plagues are sent to the people of the earth. We're not in the same spirit as that. I don't care if the economy collapses. You know what I mean? I don't care if my neighbors die. You know, I don't care if there's a world war. I ain't fighting in your wars. This is of no concern to us. This is First John 1:5. This then is a message which we have heard of him, and to clear unto you that Yahweh is light, and in him is no darkness at all. So we're supposed to be in that spirit of abounding and cleaning ourselves up, in the hopes that the Lord speed this thing up, because the longer we're here, the more plagues we're gonna have to deal with. And even the Lord said, if we all turned and worshipped him, if we all turned and faced the east and worshipped him, he would forgive us. you know Ultimately, our people are not going to do that, but if the elect do that, he's gonna speed this thing up. And he said he's even speeding up for the elect's sakes. So it just shows you the Lord keeps his promises, and we're meant to keep our promises by cleaning ourselves and getting as close to perfection as possible in the hopes that the Lord speed his things up. So we're sacrificing the things that we want to do in this world to be closer to the Lord in the hopes that he speeds us up. What's good for us is not good for the rest of these people. What's good for the goose is not good for the gander in this case. But we're not part of that group anyway. This is Second Chronicles 7:14. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. So we're supposed to really turn and face the east and pray. I myself have been meaning to get a compass. So when I pray, I face the east and I pray towards the Lord. We're supposed to be abounding in the spirit, fasting, praying more, reading more, getting closer to the Lord, in the hopes that he's gonna firm up our minds to be able to deal with this stuff. Because these people are not gonna be able to deal with this, man. They think this is just a fluke. We're just doomsday sayers. And the world's gonna go back to normal. The world ain't never going back to normal, man. You can see all these shops are closed. They ain't never opening up. The economy's gonna collapse. Your girl been popped by 50 guys. My man's talking about, this Jason Black's talking about this is the best time to be a single man. It is not the best time to be a single man. Because every single man wants a woman that's his woman. You have the worst women to pick from at this time. This is the worst time to be a single man. This is the worst time in history to be a man. So for him to even say that just shows the stupidity of this man. Here it is, if you're a man, you can't even get married, you'll get divorce raped, you might not see your kids, a woman can falsely accuse you and send you to jail, but somehow in his mind this is the best time to be a single man. I mean, you have to be a damn fool because of the technology. See, Jake is impressed by trinkets. He doesn't understand the value of real life, because it's about legacy. You have a 50-year-old man who doesn't have a kid, who doesn't have a child, who has nothing left, nothing to pass his genetic lineage to, or these so-called corruptible riches he's accumulated over the course of his life, talking about this is the best time to be alive. I mean, you have to be a damn fool to have that kind of mindset, and ultimately the Lord is gonna wipe somebody like him away, man. This is Ezekiel 8:16, and he brought me into the inner court of the Lord's house, and behold, at the door of the temple of the Lord, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men with their backs toward the temple of the Lord, and their faces towards the east, and they worshipped the sun toward the east. Then he said unto me, Hast thou seen this, O son of man? Is it a light thing to the house of Judah that they commit the abominations which they commit here? For I have filled the land with violence, and have returned to provoke me to anger, and lo, they put the branch to their nose. So this shows that Judah worshipping other gods, and you sitting there and saying Jake should chase money and all of this stuff is you worshiping other gods. The only thing is that's gonna save us from these doomsday so-called calculations is turning back to the Lord. Money's not gonna save you in that day. How is money gonna save you when Esau's throwing bombs at you? The Lord is gonna save you, but these people are so carnal minded that uh, everything has to be seen and calculated and quantified for them to believe in it. And what is faith without hope? But these people don't have faith. They don't have hope. Their hope is in Esau. And if you're trusting onto your oppressor, how much of a fool are you? Because you can sit there and talk about how white supremacy is a real thing, but you think you accumulating this wealth within the confines of white supremacy is going to save you from the things that are to come on the earth. You know, this makes no sense. You can't you can't you can't work in a rigged system and think you're going to you you know unrig the system by working in a rigged system. It doesn't work. You don't get clean by swimming through shit. But that's how these people think. They think if they get enough money in Esau society, they're gonna turn around. They're gonna be well-to-do Negroes. That's not how it works, man. The only thing that's really gonna turn these curses back off you is returning to the Lord. Something that Jake Jake don't really want to listen to, man. This is Second Samuel 22. I'm gonna start at 22. For I've kept the ways of the Lord and have not wickedly departed from my power, but all his judgments were before me, and as for his statutes, I did not depart from them. I was also upright before him, and have kept myself from mine iniquity. Therefore the Lord have recompensed me according to my righteousness, according to my cleanness in his eyesight. With the merciful thou wilt show thyself merciful, and with the upright man thou wilt show thyself upright. So if we're upright and we're doing the things that we're supposed to be, and we truly believe in the Lord, then the Lord is gonna, we're basically being loyal to the Lord. So the Lord is gonna show loyalty to us. If we turn back into the world and we want to search out corruptible riches, the Lord is gonna heap on corruption onto us. So yeah, it's just my thought that the quicker we get in order, the quicker the Lord comes back. And being in order means having faith. Uh, you know, going through these battles daily, even though sometimes we lose, sometimes sometimes it's a draw, sometimes we win. But the main aim is to keep fighting, to not give up, to keep going and going and going, and not to succumb to the ways of the world and thinking that these corruptible riches, i.e., money, women, and all this stuff in the world that people tell you means something, is going to save you in that day. Because £1 million is not going to save you from a nuclear bomb. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, double honors to the elders and apostles of Jerusalem, well, shalom to the elect, Shabbat shalom.